the Y'all Didn't Tell Us podcast. I'm Mariah. I am 33. I am a wife, a mom to my 13-year-old daughter and 8-year-old son. And what else am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to say when you are today.
By day, I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, and by night, I'm a historian. And let me tell you why.
I'm listening.
You seem so shocked.
I know. I want to know.
Okay, allegedly, I can remember every time that I was slighted in my relationship.
Okay.
And I bring it up 10 years later. I can't remember anything else, but I can remember that. So I'm a historian today. Okay.
I'm crying, and I'm Alysse. I'm 33 years old. I'm a wife, and by day, I am a director of special education. And right now, sitting in this moment, I am Nene Leakes because she's back. She's back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm excited, and I love her. So I'm Nene Leakes in this moment.
I didn't know she's coming back. Is she a friend of the show?
No. Oh, I don't know. I think she's got a peach. You
period.
can't bring Nene Leakes back and not have a peach.
I'm a Nene fan.
I love me some Nene.
I support it. Welcome
Exactly.
back, Lenithia Leakes. Government
Not the full
name.
government. And what's in your cup, friend? Sister.
Oh.
Not friend. Gross. Sister. What's in your cup?
Okay, today I am drinking a medicine. Is it bomb or ball?
Ball.
Ball. Not because I don't feel well, but because it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
The lemonade and the minty goodness is just amazing for my spirit. It feels warm. It feels like a hug.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it. I was going to say Don Julio is in my cup, but it's not right now.
That's what she wants to be in her
That's
cup,
what I
but
need in it.
She is
After
outrageous.
after the week I've had has been chaotic, but today I also have a medicine ball. And let me tell you, Mariah just put me on to all lemonade, extra honey.
All lemonade. It is a completely different drink. Like, you do not need the water. The water waters down the flavor.
You got it.
You don't need it.
And I think this is my new favorite thing. It's very good. I don't know where it's been my whole life, but I'm thankful for you because you add so many gems, so many little nuggets to my life.
Oh my gosh.
That I never knew. What would I have done without the all lemonade medicine ball?
You probably would be one step further away from diabetes, but that's okay. Whatever. But I'm so glad you're enjoying it.
Love that.
All right, guys. Okay, we're going to have a special candid conversation today. It's going to be brief because we have a very special guest with us. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say I'm rooting for everybody Black and happy Black History Month. Anything else?
You know, I decided to bring a little extra melanin to the pod today because we are melanated throughout. But I just wanted to pull out this shirt. This is, it's a little old, as you can see, but it just gives Black history. And it gives, all different shades of Black.
I like it.
I love it. So happy Black History Month to everyone Black. And everybody, actually. Everybody.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, well, let me show y'all my sweatshirt. It says, "Dear ancestors, I understand the assignment." I wore this last year if y'all were following us for our first little situation that we had going on. But I'm going to wear this every year. What is
Take it to the guest.
problem?
Take it to the guest.
Okay, anyway, so we're not going to do a lot of segments today because we want to jump right in. And I don't even know where to look. So if y'all see me looking around, just go with it.
Why are you staring at the camera? There's two people sitting here.
I haven't introduced yet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, now they know about our special guest, Alysse. Jeez. Okay. I am here to introduce our special guest. Is he on the camera yet?
No.
Okay, now he's on the camera. I need them to see. Look, this is my uncle, guys. And I'm his favorite niece, so if any of my cousins are watching, just let me have this moment, okay? Let this one ride. But anyway, besides being my favorite uncle, he is also the husband to my beautiful Aunt Michelle, who you cannot see, but she is in here with us too.
Hey, Aunt Michelle.
And I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about his bio. If I miss anything, fill it in. But I think I memorized it because I was like, oh, I know this stuff. Okay.
You should.
So he was born and raised in Tyler, Texas, as was I. He moved to Bryan College Station in 1996. Is that right?
That is correct.
In the 1900s. My gosh. In 96, he's a former Marine, former Bryan police officer for 22 years.
22 long years.
Yep. And also graduated from Texas A&M University.
Whoop.
We are going to forgive him for that. Let's move on. So he got his Bachelor of Science in University Studies Leadership and a minor in Financial Advisory. And that is why he's here today. We are here to talk about finances. What else did I miss?
No, I think you covered everything. I forgot that there's a I have a daughter and a son and a grandson.
Oh yeah, my cousin. Shout out. My bad, y'all.
Goddaughter. Yes. So.
And your church. Shout out your church.
Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church
Period.
in Bryan, Texas, USA, on the corner of MLK and Sims. So you in Bryan, on the north end of downtown, stop by and see us, okay? 11 a.m., okay, Sunday morning.
And what about Wednesdays? Y'all go to church on Wednesdays?
We Zoom on Wednesday nights right now.
Oh, convenience. Yes. I love it. Okay, so right now you work for Financial Wealth Advisors.
Fundamental.
Oh my gosh, I did know that. Fundamental Wealth Advisors.
Correct.
And when I first heard about where you worked, I was like, oh, he works for rich people. Because the word wealth, and you're advising rich people on what to do with their money and how to invest and how to spend. But then I was like, no, that maybe not that. So maybe he also helps with people like me who have not arrived on their financial journey. And maybe, I don't know, Alysse, if you're in the wealthy.
Let me tell you, absolutely not. I work in education, and in education, we don't make a lot. We don't. I am in the higher end of salaries, but in education. But I'm pretty much at my top, and that's not a lot.
Okay, so I want to make it make sense for people like me and Alysse then who are not wealthy. How does that kind of translate over into the advisor situation? So somebody who maybe has some debt, has some bills they're still paying off. I don't know, maybe saving for college or saving for a big purchase. Because, there's like the Dave Ramseys of the world who's like, pay off the debt. Don't do nothing till you pay off the debt. But I also got bills to pay. And then they're like, okay, after you pay off the debt, save the money. But I still got bills to pay. So how do I pay off the debt, save the money,
pay the bills,
and do all the things?
Yeah.
Help us with that part.
Well, first, I will just say that you mentioned something, and a big misconception about the industry is that, again, our name, Fundamental Wealth Advisors, right? People think, well, I have to have wealth to come to them. Right?
I sure did.
But you need somebody to help you get that wealth, right?
That's
if
true.
you want to get into shape, what do? You hire a personal trainer to do that, right? You're a parent, so when you had kids, you probably didn't know everything about it. So what'd you do? Probably ask your mom, maybe read some books.
I knew everything.
Well,
I'm just playing.
this guy.
I know nothing. Y'all help me, please.
But you need help, right? You need some guidance because information. We don't have a lot of information. For me personally, as growing up, I didn't learn a lot about money, and so when it wasn't until I got old. And you mentioned Dave Ramsey. My wife and I, we got married in 2010, and we got married and we went to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University back in like 2012. And the thing that I learned from that course was that one, I was broke. And
you needed a course to tell you because I don't need nobody to tell me.
Number two, it wasn't as difficult as I made it out to be, right? Saving and investing, right? So people always say, well, you got to have money to make money, right? And that's in certain respects, right? So if you wanted to own rental property, right? You need some cash to go put a down payment on that rental property or to buy that rental property to then rent it. But to get started investing, you just need a steady paycheck.
Oh, period.
And some commitment.
Take notes. Come on, let's take notes.
Okay.
So
I'm taking notes. I don't know what you're doing.
Alysse, please. Okay, so I thought that you couldn't or you shouldn't invest until you were like debt free. But I'm like, the way my student loans look, I ain't gonna be able to invest until Jesus comes back 2 times. Like, can I invest now?
You're going to hear me say, as a financial advisor, you'll hear me say the word depends a lot, right?
Okay.
Because there really is no one size fits all,
okay,
right?
That makes sense.
Now, for us, again, when we did, we decided to pay off our debt first before we started to investing. But there are a lot of clients we have that have so much student loan debt that, again, even if they focused on that 100%, like you said, it'd be 10, 12, 15, maybe 20 years down the line.
20 years.
And so again, there's a lot of time that you've missed there investing. So you can do both, but again, it just depends what works for you and your household, right?
Okay.
That's one thing that you have to consider, right?
I see.
Yeah.
Depends.
If we are on the lower end of depends, on the probably you should not be trying to invest any other type of dime anywhere else but to what you need to where would we start if we got to the end of paying off our debts, or we're getting a steady paid paycheck? Where would we start in an invest? And that's a depends probably, huh?
Well, first of all, I'll back up just a little bit. How do we get to that point where we're out of debt and we can start, right? If we're going to do it in that direction.
Let me take notes.
That makes sense.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that we have to do, or a couple of different things that we have to start thinking about, right? When we start this journey, a lot of people get wants and needs confused.
Oh, wait a minute. My seat's getting hot. Hold on.
I don't mean to step on no toes, all right?
Step on them, please.
But we get those wants and needs confused. We keep looking at the next door neighbors and what they have, and think that we should be there already, right? Or we should have the big house, we should have the car, right? So we really have to think about, okay, what do I need, right? I need a car. I'm not going to walk, okay? So I need some dependable transportation.
Dependable,
right?
okay.
I don't need that Escalade, right? It'd be nice, but I don't need it, right? So to get there, right, we have to consider that. We also have to just think about just a lot of people don't live on a budget, right? And a lot of people don't like to hear that, right?
Wait a minute.
And I said, I don't.
Budget, you say?
How about this?
Start with a B.
How about this? Don't say that word. You need a spending plan, right?
Ooh, I like that. That feels
That
that
sounds a
feels
lot.
better in
Yeah.
my
Spending
spirit.
plan, right? Because
It doesn't attack as much.
A budget.
you
What?
don't want to say that, But yeah, you need a spending plan, right? Because at the end of the day, I tell people this: the pie is only so big, right? I don't care how you slice it. Right, you can slice it up into 4 pieces. Well, 2 pieces, 4 pieces, 8 pieces, 16 pieces, right? You might can get 24 pieces out of that pie. 40, I don't care how you slice it. It's still one pie, right? And so you have to consider the income that I have coming in. It has to match what goes out, right?
So
it
match,
has to match.
or be lower. Or
Be lower,
more.
right? It has to, your income has to be more than what
Right.
goes out, right? To give you a little
Okay.
space
I feel
to
like that
save,
would
right?
Be a negative.
Yeah.
You can't be spending more than you make.
No, I said it backwards, Alysse. Well, see, now look at you trying to put me on blast.
No, my bad. Listen, I'm just relating. I'm relating. That's what I'm doing.
Chase took the insufficient funds fee. No, I'm just playing.
So I'll go back to you. I'll go back to your question, Alysse. When you get there, right? When you figured out that I do want to invest, go sit down with a financial advisor. First of all, a lot of people think, when they think of financial advisors, they think about like when you go see an attorney, okay? When I go see an attorney, I'm expecting to pay, by the hour, right? I gotta, every hour, ching ching, I gotta pay them. But with a financial advisor, that's not the same. You can come sit in my office. You can sit and talk to me about where do I need to invest? How much money do you have to invest? We can sit and talk about those things. We can share emails, right? And that doesn't cost you anything. So I think the first thing people need to understand, it's free.
Like a consultation?
Or like a whole plan.
Well, again, how we
Wait a
We're
minute.
trying to make it clear for the people so y'all will know.
but how we get paid though, again, it really doesn't come out of your pocket at this stage of the game, because if
And
you're
we ain't got
investing,
nothing to give you. The pockets are empty.
That's why we're here.
so just a quick example, right? So if you invest in a mutual fund, right? And so just a mutual fund, where do you start investing? That's where you start. Mutual funds, right? Because again, if you do like these risky things that you see on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, a lot of times those things they're sketchy, right? They're sketchy. Okay.
Oops.
So, but a good mutual fund, because I like to tell people kind of like this: a mutual fund is a mutual fund company. It has a name, and we'll call it DeMond Oliver Mutual Fund, right? Well, we're gonna mutually invest in different companies. So we're gonna pass the hat. We're gonna take up some money. Then I'm gonna go out and buy. Me as the money manager, I'm gonna go out and buy these publicly traded companies, right? And so I may buy 100 of them or 200 of them, right? But the money that y'all have invested, we spread it out to all of those companies, and then as those companies grow, right? you will get dividends. All right, you will get some of those profits. Okay, so when you're investing in a mutual fund, you're buying what we call equities, right? So you have a small stake in, just imagine any publicly traded company, right? That you can buy into. Let's just say, like one of these big box stores, right? They're publicly traded. Well, again, you're a minority owner in that company. That don't give you the right to go kick in the door and tell the employees what they should be doing, right? So you're a minority owner in that. And then basically what you would do is set up a systematic draft from your bank account every month.
Okay.
And $100 or $50 or $200. It doesn't take a lot to start. You don't have to start with $1,000 a month. You don't have to start with $10,000. You can start with $50 a month to get started.
Oh, I could do that.
Is that equivalent to a Roth?
So
I'm way off, huh?
No, good question. Because
I got a little something going to a Roth, but I don't know if that's right.
Okay. So you've heard of a Roth, right?
Yes.
It's a Roth IRA, right? So where do you invest, right? Again, you can invest outside of retirement plans, okay? But a Roth IRA is a retirement plan. A traditional IRA is a retirement plan. A 401k is a retirement plan, right?
Okay.
So some people will say, I invest in my Roth IRA. Well, you don't necessarily invest in the Roth IRA.
Okay.
The Roth IRA is just the mechanism that keeps the taxes off of it.
We're going to circle back to that one.
Okay.
We got to circle. Okay, so then going back to the mutual funds. So how would you invest in that?
So there are tons of mutual funds.
Oh, you would just pick
so again, you came to me. You sat down in my office.
Step one, go
yes.
see a financial advisor. Okay, we're at the table.
You're at the table.
We got to dumb it down for people like me. Start at level 0.
You're at the table.
I'm at the table.
And you say, hey, I want to invest on a systematic basis every month.
And I got $50.
$50, right?
Yes.
We're gonna open you an account.
Okay.
Okay.
What kind of account?
An investment account.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna open an investment account that's in your name under your Social Security card number, right? We're gonna open that account, right? And so once we open that account, then we're gonna send that application off to my broker dealer. Right?
Okay.
Then once the broker dealer gets it, we open up the account, and then once that first check comes in that next month, then we're gonna go buy XYZ mutual fund, right?
Okay.
And we just do that every month. So that's literally what you have to do. That first step, opening an account. Now you could go do that online with an investment company by yourself, right?
Yeah.
But again, a lot of people when they do that, what I see is that they don't have any guidance when they do it, right?
I need
So,
guidance.
Okay.
Yes.
And so then wow, could not talk for a second. Your
That's okay.
role as the financial advisor is to lead us to the best investment accounts and the best way to use that account to invest in the different companies.
So then once we sit down, we've opened up the account. Now I got a few questions for you, right? So how old are you? What's your time frame, right? What's your risk tolerance?
Quick, low risk. Money today.
What are the goals,
No
right?
losses. Okay.
Now, what are the goals, right? So we have to talk about those things. Well, once we talk about those things, I can go, look, I love this XYZ mutual fund because it's been in existence since 1934, right? And it's produced returns over that time frame of 11 or 12%. Okay. So I can show you those things, and you go, "Ooh, I like that," right? Okay. Then I can talk to you about the fact that you mentioned earlier about losing all my money, right? Earlier, when we talked about this mutual fund, there may be 100 or 200 different companies underneath this umbrella, right? So think about your grocery store. So we do HEB down there in Bryan,
as do we.
All right.
Yes.
So HEB's name is on the front door, right? But when you walk through the door of HEB, how many different brands are represented in there?
A gajillion.
Okay. Yeah.
So just imagine we're just going to call it brand A says, you know what? I don't want to be a part of HEB anymore. And they take their ball and they go home, right?
Okay.
Does HEB shut down?
Absolutely not.
No, they keep rolling. Why? Because they got 100 other different products in there, 150, 200, right?
Yes.
So same thing with a mutual fund with these 200 different companies in there. There are professional money managers that are deciding which companies to buy or to sell. But if one of those companies goes out of business tomorrow, that's fine. It was only, 0.5% or 1% of my whole portfolio in that mutual fund. So I'm not going to lose everything that I put into that, right?
Oh, that makes sense. That's a good analogy.
so-
the HEB and the brand.
Yes,
See,
yes.
this is how my brain works. Because the other
Okay, so
stuff,
they
I'm
need a
like,
visual.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, I said, if you lost all your money in a mutual fund, if all these 200 companies went out of business, we got a lot of other problems that we need to be talking about, right? You know, we need some guns and bullets and kerosene, right? Because it's bad, right? You know, so that's why even though they may be,
Are we close in America? My grocery bill is high. But anyway.
It is high.
does that explain?
Yes, that was a very layman's terms way of putting that.
Yes,
for
let's keep
us.
everything in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Okay, because I need it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we talked about investing, and then we talked about not the budget, not the B word. What's the
spending
other,
plan.
The spending plan.
Yes.
How do you start a spending plan?
Okay. Well, the first thing I would do is, if you have a credit card, pull out the statements over the last 3 months.
Oh, Lord. Wait a minute.
Let me, hold on. Let me just,
Wait a minute.
Pull out that bank statement, right?
Okay.
And
you
just look at it
see
from
what I'm spending it on?
No.
Or like, what are we doing here?
You just say, where is the money going? Right? Because that's a lot of times we don't even know where the money's going. But when we start to look at it, you're like, woo, I went there 6 times last week, and what did I get from there? And you're like, I don't remember, you know.
Or those secret subscriptions. I still don't know. Like, what am I paying for? I don't know.
Tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So statements.
But yeah,
Boom.
pull out those statements. Okay. I'll back up just one more frame though. There's a little hack that they a lot of people use, and you got to decide. Okay, 50% of my income goes to my needs, right? You know, the utility, right? The rent, keeping the roof over my head, the gas in the car.
Okay, fine.
50% needs.
Okay.
Right? And then let's break it down to, we're going to do 30%. That would be wants. Okay.
That's 80, we already at 80%.
Okay,
Like,
wait
wait a minute.
I set up like, wait a minute. I only got okay. I'm
then
with you.
The math ain't mathing.
And then that other 20%, that's for future you. Right. So that's an interesting little hack to get started with it, right? But we looked at those statements, we looked at what's coming in, we looked what's going out, and like I said, are they matching, right? Because if they're not matching, that means the credit card is keeping us afloat.
Oh.
Right.
But at the same time,
points.
drowning us? Like, how is this working?
What about the points?
And I like how you said it. It's keeping you afloat and drowning you at the same time. Yes.
Simultaneous business.
Simultaneously.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
But yeah, you just have to start. Okay, where am I spending money at? Right. And then again, like I said, breaking it down. Okay, what do I need? What do I want? What do I want to save? And a lot of people, what they do is they try to save last. Right.
I mean,
I get the check, right? You know, I'm going to do these things, and then somehow or another, you get to the end of the month, and that money that you were going to use to save, it's like, where did it go?
Yeah.
you tell me.
So you want to do that first. Right?
Okay, so
Again,
save. Like, take the savings part out.
remember what we were saying about that systematic?
20%.
That systematic thing we were talking about earlier?
Yes.
That money's gone before the check even gets to the checking account, or it goes right out of the checking account.
Okay.
So you don't
'Cause
start
you already know.
planning on it. It's gone
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
at the
Okay.
first of the month.
Okay.
So that's probably one of the first things to think about is,
Okay.
how do I pay myself first?
Okay.
Right? Then once you do that, then it's like, okay. And again, I want to say, when it comes to this money, it's really monopoly, right? We're just
I
playing.
mean, when I pass go, though, I do not collect $200. This is the problem. I'm constantly passing go,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting the $200. Where is
When does
it?
the game end?
But yeah, once you get that spending plan, you figure it out. And I mean, you can use any kind of a budgeting tool. There's tons of them online that are free.
This is true.
So use them. I mean, if you want to go old school and just get that yellow notepad out, with a pencil, and this is how much I get paid, and this is what I'm expecting next month. And I also think about, this is always forward looking, right?
Okay, yes.
So I hear a lot of people say, well, and I won't call her name, but she's related to me. She just said that, no, not that
I
one.
was thinking
Not you.
Because it probably was.
But she just said that, with the budget, it's like, well, all the bills got paid. Then we're good, right?
I mean, sometimes that's the goal in life. The bills are paid and we're
It's
alive.
good. We got clothes on our back. We're good. But it's forward looking. Right?
Yes.
So right now in February, we should be thinking about, okay, what generally happens in March, right? If we have kids, you know, if we have spring break, we know comes up in March. So we're looking forward, okay? And so we know that on March the 1st, when we get paid, my husband, my wife gets paid, this is how much coming in, and we know they get paid twice a month. So we're expecting, you know, $5,000 that month, right? And then we just start walking down the list of the things that again, that savings, you know, the utilities, the needs, right? And then those wants. And then again, it's gotta match. We gotta be looking forward, because if it's not working out on paper, it's not
and
working out. And
sometimes it don't work out, because let me tell y'all, I'm a pen and paper girl, and I started, and I was like, toot, toot, toot.
Yeah.
Whoa, there's a lot left, but there's nothing up here. Let me erase this.
Yeah.
It's stressful. I think, so the name of this podcast is the Y'all Didn't Tell Us podcast. Why is it, do you think, that we don't make finances like a priority? Or I won't say we don't, because I feel like people are doing better. But I think when I was growing up, nobody was telling me about how to pay bills, or like how that even works. Like, hey, just because you make this amount of money, you're not bringing this amount home. And then you also have all these things you need to pay for, and all these other life situations that come up. But why do you think it's been such a taboo conversation?
You know, it's hard to teach something that you don't know, first of all.
Yeah.
Right. And I think just when I think about, you know, my growing up, I remember one time we were eating dinner one night, and we had bacon and eggs and pancakes, hot
Sounds
cakes.
delicious.
It was delicious. I love breakfast at night. I didn't realize that was because we didn't have anything else to eat. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, a lot of parents, they're just trying to make it.
Yeah.
They're struggling themselves. So it's hard for them to sit down and try to teach their kids these things, to get them to understand that, hey, this is the income. And they may be ashamed of the income, right? It may not be as much as the neighbors, right? And so maybe they're ashamed of that. And then again, some people just don't know, and they don't think it's important, because maybe you're getting this at school, right? But they're not teaching this in school.
Because can I tell you, I have never outside of the classroom used pre-calculus. What is a pre-calculus?
Couldn't tell you.
They can replace pre-calculus with finance for
literacy.
everybody. But then sometimes I feel like the system in the world that we live in, like they don't want us
you
to
to
know, because they're teaching their kids. Their kids don't need this
Exactly.
class. They
Right.
have a lot of
Exactly.
wealth to pass down,
Yes.
and they're not gonna let little Johnny ruin it. Like they're
I was
gonna
gonna
set him
say,
up.
is it a taboo conversation amongst everybody? I don't think so.
I don't think
No.
It's
everybody.
a taboo conversation amongst certain cultures
Yeah,
and
Demographics.
certain
For sure.
demographics.
For
That's
sure.
for sure.
You know,
agree.
along
And
those
is it systematic, maybe. I don't know.
You know, along those same lines, just thinking about what we don't teach our kids. You know, one thing that we're dealing with right now is that, you know, selling some property, right, that my grandfather owned. Well, he didn't have a will, so he didn't give it to anybody. So, right, so what does it happen? The state says, well, it goes to all the kids, right?
And
then,
like 18 of y'all.
and then-
Y'all get 1 foot. Everybody gets a
and then
foot.
that person has passed away, so now their kids are. So you got 20 or 30 people involved in stuff. So again, I think a lot of times it's just we just don't know, you know,
Yeah.
because we're just trying to survive, and we're thinking, well, we don't have an estate. Well, you have something, right? You
Yeah.
know? And so you need to figure out how to pass that on. You know, you need to figure out how to tell your kids that, well, I didn't do so well in this area, but this is how you can do better than I did,
Yeah.
and share that with them. So again, it's taboo. There's lots of reasons, but again, maybe that shame is one of those things that people don't. And again, at the end of the day, I can't teach you anything that I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
One thing that I've started doing, and I don't know how much my dad knows, but we've been talking about, you know, what happens if you pass away? Like, what does that look like? Because I feel like some of it's going to come to me. Like, I'm going to need to know some of the answers. So we start talking about, like, well, do you have a will? And then, like, what's in your will? And then somebody said you need to have not an estate, a trust.
Okay. Again,
But I don't know. Like,
but again, that word I mentioned, it depends.
it depends.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends. But
Does it
everybody.
depend on where you're at
Yeah.
financially? Like, is
Yeah.
that one of the determining factors?
You know, the main thing is that with a will, I'm telling my heirs what I want to happen to me, because of the simple fact that I'm gonna break this to y'all. This might be tough for some people to hear, but
Let's
we're all
prepare.
gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Whoa.
Yeah.
None of us,
That's
none of us are
true.
getting out of
Okay.
this alive, right?
Okay.
Some
All
of us
right.
may stay longer than others, right? You know?
Yes. Yes.
But we just somehow or another we get in our mind that, you know, we're not going anywhere. Right? So when it comes to the will, we need a will kit, right? And all that's saying is if you're 18, if you're 18 or over in the state of Texas and you die without a will, the state of Texas decides what happens to your stuff.
Ooh, that sounds so tragic.
I have a question.
So
Don't want to cut you off, but I'm just thinking to myself. I
Go
have
ahead.
a question, but no, go finish your thought.
No,
then
but,
okay.
So we have to have we want to tell people what we want to do with our stuff, right? So we need a will.
Okay.
That's the basics. And one of the things I mentioned to you earlier, we try to do the fancy stuff, and the trust are more fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
I see.
We need to cover
Will.
the basics, right?
Okay.
We need a basic will to tell
Okay.
people what happens to our stuff when we're not here anymore. Now, a trust comes in when, again, depending on the size of your estate, right? There's probate that you have to go through if you don't have a trust. Trust
Right.
pass outside of probate, which means I can keep stuff secret, right? If my will is going to get filed in the county courthouse, then anybody can go look at that will and say, "Oh, DeMond had this, and this is who he gave it to." Right? A trust keeps those things concealed, right?
Okay.
So again, it depends. Not everybody needs a will. Not everybody needs a trust.
Okay.
But everybody
Everybody needs a
18 and
will.
over needs a will at the very
Okay.
least, right?
Gotcha.
So,
That makes sense. Okay.
So then, as millennials, we don't think about that, but we should have wills because we're 18 and older.
yeah.
That's true.
Wow, I never even considered. I was like, that's something you do when you're older, but you
Yeah.
don't make it to older
I
sometimes.
mean, but think about even if you're single, fresh out of college, you have an apartment with furniture in it, right?
I was about to say, I don't have anything to put on the will. What's going on the will?
I want that coat.
And who's it going to?
You got a car.
Throw
right?
it away, guys. Just throw it in the bag.
I was like, well, now, next question. What if I just have a chair? Do they make wills for just a raggedy car and a chair?
Somebody needs to get it, right?
And my mama don't want that.
I will. Speaking of,
Please throw it
Well,
away.
tell them to throw it away.
can I circle back to that insurance discussion just real quick?
Yes.
So, when it comes to life insurance, right? If somebody depends on your income, you need life insurance.
Oh, yes.
Because oftentimes, if you're employed, you will probably have some employer-sponsored insurance. But it's generally 1, maybe 2 times your annual income.
It's like 1.
Okay. So I always tell people, right, if I were to pass away and I only had that 1 year's, in reserve for my wife,
We're done.
what happens in year
cooked.
2, 3, or 4, right?
Yeah.
So again, we need life insurance. Okay. Everybody, again, if somebody else depends on your income, you need life insurance. Right?
Okay.
And so just briefly, there's whole life insurance and there's term life insurance. Okay. Now the term life insurance on average is a lot cheaper than whole life insurance. Okay. And the difference is the simple thing is that term life insurance, it's for a term, right? It just covers a term, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. And the whole life is just that, it's for your whole life, right? But let me just give you an example though, because I looked at what it would cost for life insurance for a young person that's maybe 33 years of age, female, right?
How ironic.
So if she,
Ironic that he
That-
helped me with my life insurance policy.
that young person could get life insurance for $43 a month.
Oh, period.
Okay, depending on their health, right? But generally speaking, $43 a month can get that person
One less
that
trip to Chipotle. Gotcha.
exactly one less trip to Chipotle,
You're crazy.
and that was for $1 million worth of coverage.
$1 million,
I
y'all.
was gonna ask how much was
$1 million
it? Oh
worth of
wow.
coverage, okay?
Just don't go to Chipotle one time.
There you go.
I'm
There
trying
you
to make
go.
it make sense for the people.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's it. But if you want to do that same amount of life insurance and whole life, it would be $583 a month.
Now,
Wait a
why
minute.
such the
Why are we getting so crazy?
and
Like,
payments?
So again,
month?
a month. So annually,
it's a car note.
right? And now this was for a 25-year term, right?
Okay.
So annually, that was $509 for a year versus $6,900 a year. Okay, and so the reason being is whole life insurance tries to do a couple of different things. It provides life insurance and it has a savings function to it. right?
Okay.
And so I used to sell insurance before I connected with the firm that I'm with now. And I haven't seen that everybody needs whole life insurance. Okay. That's one of those depends things, depending on your age, depending on your income. But generally speaking, I want to go back to the fact that we have a spending plan, right? And everything we do has to fit into the spending plan, right? So just think about you personally. Which one of those numbers would better fit in the spending plan?
Not that $500 a month. That's
Right.
a car note.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, life
Maybe.
insurance. So the life insurance, again, you need to get what you need to cover, get the best tool for the job is what I'm thinking about, right? And so the best tool for the job right now that I can afford is the term life insurance, because it just gives me life insurance for a term. It's a level term. And what that means is if I pay that $43 every month, I'm going to remain covered for life insurance. Now,
Does it automatically renew?
Okay, that was. I know
Because
this is
I
a dumb
would-
question.
I
But
would
if
forget in 25 years.
Yeah,
And then
like,
I'd be.
Do I circle
SOL.
back in 25 years if I
here's-
made it?
but here's the thing.
Okay.
If you're listening to my guidance, we don't need this life insurance for that whole term, right? Because what we're trying to do is cover something that happens right now. We've got young kids. How do we get them grown? How do we get them to college, right? Again, if you were to pass away today, God forbid,
God forbid.
how,
Please, he didn't mean it.
how many Mary Poppins are they going to have to hire to do the job that you're doing, right?
18.
Well, 18 at least, right?
I counted.
It's so we're just trying to get the kids grown, get them taken care of, get them through college, right? But the 25-year term, what we're doing is, as we're building wealth, then we don't necessarily need this $1 million anymore, right? Because we've got so much money in our
what you're saying.
401k.
Yeah.
We've
You
got
don't
so much
really-
money in our investments that
You
You like,
could pay yourself if
yes,
you could put
right,
it.
right.
I ain't there yet. Let me keep paying my bills.
And
Okay.
how
So
much?
at some point in the 25 years, you could say, I don't really need to
Right.
do this anymore because
Right.
I've set up myself
Exactly.
to do my own life insurance.
Now, if you says, "Hey, I do want to
Never
switch,"
would've thought about it.
If I want to switch the whole life, you can.
Never.
A lot of these policies you can transfer it or convert it to a whole life policy. Right?
So the goal is to set yourself up so that you don't need
That's
life
the goal.
insurance.
Gotcha.
That's the goal.
Oh,
That's my goal
even-
anyway.
Oh,
That's
that
my
makes
goal.
sense.
Right.
Because insurance.
Wow, because you're paying somebody
it's
else
like
too.
a,
When you can
Insurance
just
is
pay
protection.
yourself.
It
Right.
just
Insurance-
clicked for me right now today.
That's a good point. That was a good.
That-
Wrap it on up.
Period.
Wrap it on up.
Listen, y'all know what?
That was really good.
Sometimes I don't want to pay my Apple subscription, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna pay my life insurance because I ain't there yet.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So the point of our podcast is just to tell people our age and anybody literally that listens to the podcast things that we never would have known. And so I just want to task our listeners or our audience to, in the comments, just drop a gem that you got from this episode on what you did not know that you learned in this episode, because I just want to know, what did the people get from this that they didn't know?
Yeah.
It's a lot in this that you just gave
They're
us that
rich.
did. Ooh, I'm trying to be like y'all, but wait, who's rich?
No, I'm saying the episode is rich.
Oh, just kidding.
What?
Okay. Anywho, drop a gem in the comments on what you got from this episode, because I'm excited to see what the audience got from this.
Or if you have more questions about something that we already talked about and you want like further clarification. So just to plug, you do financial advising, also do life insurance. What else?
Yes, ma'am. So we're a full service financial advising firm. We're Fundamental Wealth Advisors there in Bryan, Texas. And so what we do is we try to make it easy for people to get the things that they need right now.
I like easy. Mm-hmm.
And so if I have a lot of money, well, how do I spend that money in retirement, right?
Okay.
Or if I don't have any money, how do I get some money so I'll have some money in retirement?
Okay.
We work with those individuals. The life insurance, yes, we're licensed life insurance agents as well, so we can
Okay.
get that for you. If you're looking for, a college fund for the kiddos, right? We can help you open those 529 plans as well. So again, we're full service. Now, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a tax person, tax advisor, but we work with different people.
Okay.
So if you have questions, about your tax situation, well, I'm gonna, open up my Rolodex. Well, nobody knows what a Rolodex is.
I know what a Rolodex is,
I know.
sir. We're the same age.
What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
I'm gonna connect them with the person that they need.
Okay, understood. So we're gonna bring you back for another episode because this was
Outstanding.
so good.
Excellent. Yeah,
So-
I've had so much fun today.
Yeah, I'm glad. You always have fun with me. You don't have to tell them that. I'm your favorite niece.
This is true.
Oh, y'all heard it here. He said this is true. There was the validation that people needed, the people in my family.
in all of the Houston area.
It's too late.
I
We
have a
already
question.
cut the
Your
episode.
firm, can you do virtual? Like, do you have to be in Bryan? You
No,
can do
no,
anywhere.
ma'am, no.
I just some
Yeah,
people.
Say, girl, I'm
Yeah,
about to book an appointment
we
right now.
Zoom. We have some folks out in Virginia and
y'all do.
East Coast, West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, we Zoom
Anywhere.
a lot.
Nice.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
So to wrap up our episode with our guests, what we want you to do is, and this is going to be a clip later, so this is why I'm giving you a script.
Okay.
So I want you to look at the camera and say, they may not have told you, insert whatever you want, but I'm here to tell you, insert whatever you want.
He's like, give me some time to think about it. Jeez Louise.
Elise,
Give it to him again. Right. I'm gonna need to hear
okay,
it
let me
twice.
give you an example. They may not have told you that you should spend less than you earn, but I'm here to tell you, if you don't want to be broke, your expenses need to be less than your income. Right? See? Is that a good one? Okay.
What was our term instead of a budget? What's it called?
A
Spending
spending
plan.
plan.
Yeah,
Write
Spending
that
plan.
down.
I did actually, and we're going to be using that term from henceforward.
Can I tell y'all? You can do that in the next episode. Be
Okay,
thinking
okay.
about it. But can I tell y'all? It used to stress me out. It still kind of does. Talking about finances, I get like hot, and I'm like,
Do you?
let's do it later. Okay, let's sit down now. I don't know why, but I think it's just because when you know, like, you got some goals and you need to be somewhere that you're not there. And then I
Right.
think there's some, not shame for me per se, but I think sometimes in our community, there's like some shame and a stigma associated with me being where I am versus where I should be or where I need to be. How do you take that shame out of these conversations? Because I think that's what keeps people from coming sometimes.
Yeah. I think it's just always good to remember that we always say, when is the best time to plant a tree if you want shade, right? Well, the best time to plant that tree,
Well,
that's
I
20
love
years
that.
ago, right?
I'm gone.
I love it. I love it.
20 years ago, right?
Yes.
But what's the second best time to do that?
Right now.
Right
Yep.
now.
Yes.
Right now. So I think that's what you have to consider is that it doesn't matter what I should have done. Right? This is where I'm at. This is what I have to deal with. Where do I go from here?
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
And
What I
again,
need to
we
do
got to
right
stop looking. This morning we had a memorial workout for a guy that's sick with cancer right now, and one of the things, and every day when I go to the gym, my CrossFit gym that I go to,
Okay,
can't-
plug. You go to the CrossFit gym. We see you.
I can't look to the right and I can't look to the left to compare myself with those folks because they're a lot younger than me. They're a lot more spry than I am. I have to keep focusing on me. And so what we should do, right? Stop worrying about, what they're doing over there, what they're doing over here. This is where I'm at. This is my income. How do I make the most of this? So again, keep it simple.
Well, that's good.
perfect.
I think that's a perfect stopping point. Y'all stop watching somebody else's line because you ain't gonna catch no fish. Have you ever heard that?
No.
No,
I like
but
it
you
though.
have right. That's
I
East
heard it.
Texas. You can't catch fish watching
Someone
somebody else's line.
That's great.
Oh
I love
my gosh,
it.
I can't believe you haven't heard this.
I have not. There's a lot of things that I say that people haven't heard. A lot of things that
Yeah,
people
it's
say haven't heard.
yeah, you're right.
Can I give you one more?
Yes.
Like I said, the grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Some people say, well, if you wait till winter, everybody's grass is brown, right?
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's good. That's good. So it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I love it. I
Doesn't
love
matter.
it.
Doesn't matter.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the pod
Yay.
today.
Thank
y'all
I was
for
really
having
excited
us.
for this episode. I was like, okay, the finances.
Yes.
This is it. This is it. Well, y'all, just to end it out, sometimes we rock it.
And sometimes our finances get rocked.
Oh my
But
gosh.
either way,
We rock
rocking.
it.
See y'all next time.